Hello, hello. Welcome to the third episode of Myami Rambles, and today is going to be a cute little Q&A. Some of the questions I grabbed from you all, some of them I made up just because I wanted to give the answers to, and then some I found elsewhere on the internet. So it's going to be a good number of questions with various categories. So we're just going to jump right into it. And today I am working on one of my course projects for my fiber arts course. It is knit. It's a lot of knitting. But I technically am almost done. It still might be a bit of a minute before I get done though. All right, we're going to hop into the questions. What is your birthday slash zodiac sign? My birthday is August 14th. I am a Leo. And I very much match my zodiac. My favorite color. What is your favorite color? I would have to say purple, pink, and blue. I can't tell you like the exact shades, but that's the color families that I tend to like. Favorite book of all time? A Lady for a Duke by Alexis Hall. But it's my favorite by a lot. It's basically about this couple who it was formerly two guys, and one of the guys came out as transgender. And it's historical, so it was around a Napoleonic War or something or whatever. So after the guy that comes out as transgender almost basically dies in the war, he was able to come back as his true self as a woman. And then she ends up sort of reuniting with her former best friend and kind of seeing what that does to their relationship now, and sort of realizing that as friends there was things that they couldn't tell each other, and now as possible love interest her friend is able to sort of share more with her as a woman, but their stations are completely different right now. So them sort of managing their different statuses, but also society and what makes a woman and what makes a man. It's so good. It's literally one of my favorite books. I tear through it every time I've read it. It's good. It's good. So yeah, if that sounds interesting for you, I highly recommend it. Favorite book you've read this year? A Lady for a Duke by Alexis Hall. It's a good book. It's literally the first book I read this year, and it's my favorite by a lot. Though there have been a lot of other books that I've read. Church Girl by Naima Simone. I read that, and it's really good. Let me see. Can I find it real quick? The Nightmare Before Christmas is another good one I read this year by Sarah Rosh, and The Princess Trap. Those are some of my like 5-star reads from this year. At Rome 44789 asks, why did you start crocheting / knitting? I don't think I've ever been asked why. It's always like, how did you get into it? But what was it about crocheting / knitting that sort of attracted me to it? I first learned knitting in elementary school. There was a Klutz how-to book from the kids section of Barnes & Noble. I do remember that. And now I'm in my 30s now. So whatever past me was thinking, or elementary school me was thinking, that was like, ooh, this I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. But I think I've always been interested in making things. I think I've always had a love of art and creation and making something new. That's like that creativity has always been a part of me. And I'm guessing too, as far as with knitting and crochet in particular, it was just like, wait, I can make stuff? I can take a string of yarn and create a cute hat or create something new, and the fact that I keep on coming back to it no matter how long I like put knitting or crochet down, it's always a part of me and I'm making a business out of it as well. How do you manage work-life balance as a small business owner? I okay, realistically, you you probably won't always manage, or rather, sometimes I don't always manage my work life balance as well as I probably could. But I think realizing, no, I think realizing that a good work life balance looks different for a small business owner versus someone with like a 9 to 5. So, more often than not, you'll have those late nights where, or I'll have those late nights where it's 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and I'm still crocheting or knitting, or I'm thinking about a video, or I'm editing a video. But knowing that, okay, if you burn this midnight oil the next day or the weekend, completely off. Don't think about anything. Take that time to rest and rejuvenate. And I think as a small business owner, rest has to be a part of your routine, because without it, you're going to get burnt out and you're going to start resenting and hating something that you really used to enjoy. So I think that's something that I do to sort of keep that balance, regardless of how late the nights go. I'll try to say on the weekends, we're not doing any crochet or knit. We're not working on videos. We're not doing anything of the such. And sometimes it might be, hey, I just want to take a couple of days and not do anything. I even recently, I think there were a couple of days where I didn't do as much crochet and knitting. It was more like admin stuff. And when I came back, it was like, oh, I have this idea for a video. I have this idea. Like, oh, let's try this out. I think if you are interested in being someone who is your own boss, you need to make sure that you give yourself time to just chill, hobbies, get something that's not related to your business, and have those restful moments, because by the time you get back, you'll be the better for it. Which do you like more, crochet or knitting? I can't say I like one more than the other. I think depending on what I'm working on, that sort of determines how much I enjoy it and how much I like it. Because I can't say, ooh, crochet stinks. I like knitting better. Knitting was the first one I learned, but I find the benefits and the issues and the difficulties with both ones. Which did you learn first? Knitting. And I'm pretty sure very soon after I learned crochet, because the Klutz how-to book was a series. So I'm fairly certain, and again, this is 30-something-year-old me thinking about elementary school age me. I know I ended up getting a lot of books in the series for the how-to, so I ended up learning knitting first and then crochet. I think quilting was in there somewhere. I want to say there was a nail art book that I did at one point. So I definitely dabbled in a little bit of everything. That's another thing, thinking about me as a creator and a creative. I like to try things out. I love trying new things and kind of seeing what sort of settles and what I actually keep up with. And knitting and crochet kind of won. And it's the one that I've sort of stuck with or returned to the most. Which do you think is easier? It depends on the day. I think I could probably say, for me, I might say that knitting is easier, but I also, not to say that crochet is difficult. I think crochet has more loops to it, but knitting, you have to keep track of a lot more moving parts. So I don't know if and that's going to be interesting as I do my instruction in my courses, is like sort of recognizing that something that's going to be, it's going to be different for everybody as far as like what's easy and what's hard. But I wouldn't say, and I don't know if I can say, between crochet or knitting, one's significantly easier than the other. I think they're, and I think I probably can say that because I learned so early that they almost feel the same difficulty level in my head. At Avocado X Toast, do you have a favorite project that you've done and why? Ooh, so many, because I think I'm really proud of the stuff that I've made. So if I have to pick one, I might pick the kitten or the octopus. I think the kitten is kind of my favorite sort of construction, where I felt like I did really well with making the face and putting all the pieces together. And I think I have a pretty close affinity to octopuses because they're so smart. And they have 8 arms, like my name. But I'm thinking, also I think the bunny, the seafoam green bunny, because I just really enjoyed hugging that one. That one just was so sweet. I'm very literally about to just list everything I've ever made, so we'll stop there. What's a wish list item you want to make? So something that's on my to-do list. The first would probably be a lion, because I'm a Leo. And then the second would be, I really want to make a mini-me, but I know that one's going to take a while to put together, because I want to do an outfit for her that matches something that I make for myself, but I am not a small person. So just knowing how long it's going to take. But it's still on the list. It's going to be on the list for a long time. In what ways do the things you make reflect your personal style or philosophy? That's a good question. I would say that with the colors, I definitely lean towards adorable pastels, cute colors. And then, how do I want to say, as far as like the style of the stuff that I make, it's definitely taking it upon myself to do the best possible product. That's my work ethic. That's my strive for excellence. So I'm always looking to doing the best that I can. And that's definitely my philosophy in a nutshell. And you can see it in a lot of the stuff that I make. And even the videos that I make. As there's always some sort of critique or self-critique of say, hey, I could have done this better. I should do this part better. I can get better. I will get better. There's always room for improvement. But also, I want something cute, something adorable, something that's fun to hug. And so I think that's my personality as well. Like, I am happy for the most part. Just sometimes I'm chill too. But I want to give that or pass that happiness on to others, which I hope that I'm doing through what I make. Why did you choose plushies as your main project versus clothes or accessories? I think, like I mentioned before, I wanted something soft and absorbable, adorable, that could be a comfort for people. So something that's calming to hug, and so something that's cute and nice. Not to say that clothes can't be nice, but I think as I was sort of figuring out what I wanted to make, that's where I leaned. Um, and I kind of know for myself, clothing is hard and it takes a long time. It's like I'm not a fast creator, so I wanted to see something that was going to be manageable for me. And I do want to attempt clothes as I do my social media and I make a lot of stuff, but I think that's more of a personal project. What advice do you have for someone who wants to start making videos but is nervous/self-conscious? Work through it, sit in it. That's my biggest advice because it's going to feel weird and awkward sitting in your room by yourself talking to a camera. But I think the more you do it, the more you're like, wait, why am I wasting time feeling self conscious about this? I am in my room by myself, sitting at a camera, talking to myself in a camera. It's you kind of, the more you do it, the more you realize, like, wait, this is not actually that serious. You might find, and I think a lot of times, a lot of the nervousness is not so much the act of talking to the camera, it's the mean people at their keyboards behind the camera. But I think realizing that you have a lot more power over your space than you may realize. So you may decide, hey, this person's being very mean. I'm going to block them. And you can do that. Like, this is not a, how do I want to say? I think that's something that you sort of learn as you do content creation and you're on the other side as far as, like, you've made the video. You can manage your space to say, I'm only allowing kind people in my area and block everybody else that's mean. Like, you don't have to subject yourself to bullying and mean people. This is your space and you can protect it. I know sometimes you say, like, oh, there's free speech and I want my place to be a safe space for everybody. But at the end of the day, you don't want a safe space for racists or bigots or rude people. Like, you kind of, as you grow as a content creator, there's a tough skin that you get with realizing, like, oh, I don't owe anybody anything. I don't owe anybody my space or my time or the space and the time of everybody else in the comment section. Like, hey, I can take control of this. But I think my basic advice is that it you're not going to get more comfortable in front of the camera until you sit in front of the camera and you allow yourself to feel a little awkward and stiff and just like, this is not working or this doesn't feel great. And then you get better and better. Take away a lot of that pressure from yourself and just talk. Because I think too, what you want to share with your audience, whatever niche you have, people want to hear it. So, like, don't go in it thinking no one wants to hear me speak or no one's going to want my opinion on stuff. Like, just, there's always someone for your audience. There's always an audience for whatever niche. I haven't figured out how, but, like, there's always an audience. So just let your passion come through. And before you know it, you'll have more and more followers, and that kind of helps you get that confidence as well. Favorite video I've made. What's the favorite video I made? I would say the kid. That first kitten, the magic kitten, where I pretended. I don't know what it is about that video that makes me smile so much. And it probably because it was one of those, this is a dumb idea. This is so silly. This is so dumb, but I just know that I'm enjoying myself. Let's post it. And then the amount of views that I got was like out the water. And I think it was a very just fun process of like, ooh, this was silly. Let's go with it. Ooh, this is going really well. Let's go with it. So yeah. Video or videos that I want to make next. So like some wish list videos. I want to make a video about like a Frankenstein or Chimera with plushies. So randomly selecting yarn colors and plushie parts and sort of smoosh them all together. Because it reminds me of, I think there was a trend a while ago of randomly generating OCs or original characters, and it made me think about doing that for a monster of a plushie. So that's one that I want to do. Another one is a yarn adventure series because I want to go to independent yarn stores in my area and sort of make it like a travel log of going to an independent yarn store, getting a type of yarn there and getting a pattern book or a pattern depending on how they have it sold, and then make something from what I got there. And it's very much, I think I want it in a way that it does not just adds to the clutter of my yarn collection. It's something that I'm very strict about, or focused about. I don't want to say strict about, okay, getting it done as soon as possible, and probably not making it a super complicated project. So getting something that's manageable, but not too easy. That's been one of my top ideas for a while because that can be its own series. And even I've always had like a goal of traveling around the US and going to different yarn shops. So that could be like a huge series, but I'm gonna need a sponsor for that. So if any of you retail giants want to sponsor, that would be fun. So that's definitely on the wish list. What's your favorite yarn to work with? Chenille yarn. That one's easy. Chenille yarn or a plushie yarn, however you want, a bulky yarn. I really just love how fluffy it is and how plush and how fun it is to hold. I will say that while it is my favorite yarn, it is one of the hardest to work with, especially if you do like a magic circle. So it gets caught. It tends to get caught in a magic circle a lot. But it'd be worth it because have you seen my plushies? They're so cute. So I'm very much of that camp. But also, when you cut chenille or plush yarn, the fluffies or fuzzies get everywhere. So everything has a downside, but it's still my favorite by a lot. Okay, we are done. That was fun. That was actually really fun. There were so many questions where I was like, ooh, I wrote this one and I still didn't really think about an answer like that. But I hope you have enjoyed learning a lot more about me. If you're interested in a part 2 of this where I answer even more of your questions, please leave your questions in the comment section below. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!